Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. And if not, this live is going to turn that around. So we are here with Luke Acree of Reminder Media. He is the president, and today we are going to be talking about creating relationships, following up with those clients, and getting that repeat and referral business. So Luke, we appreciate you being here. Happy to have you.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate to be on this with you. And I don't know if you're going to share this or not. You being an old intern of ours here at Reminder Media, it's just awesome. It actually makes me smile. I was just sharing and taking a social video of that, going, "This is so crazy how life works." So
it's
really
awesome. Back to the roots. Yep. So Luke, for those who don't know, can you just share a little bit of background about yourself and what Reminder Media does?
Sure. So Reminder Media is a marketing company. So we worked last year. We've been blessed. We worked with about 38,000 small business owners last year, primarily real estate agents, mortgage brokers and lenders, insurance agents. And our true focus, or what we try to be the best in the world at, is what I tell people, is helping business owners turn their clients into raving fans. Because over my course of doing this for more than a decade, I know that if you can get your clients to become raving fans, they refer you and they use you again and again and again. And that's what everybody wants. It's just a struggle to do.
Right. So talking about the follow-up process, I mean, everyone has to have it. But when we think about during the process and creating those relationships, that's when the process is easier in the long term because you've already created that base for yourself. So from your perspective, how do you think is the best way to create a meaningful relationship without being transactional? Because this is such a big purchase in someone's life.
Yeah, I think the hardest part of running any business is, as I have tried to grow Reminder Media, my own business, it's like you're focused on closing the deal because sales is what you need. But at the same time, you can't be too focused because you get commission breath, or it becomes all about the transaction, all about the product, and you end up losing that client, whether it's through the client experience or long term. What I have found is, and Zig Ziglar is really the one who taught me this, it's all about getting people to know, like, and trust you, right? That's how you get people to buy from you, is when that trifecta comes together. People will buy from you, they'll use you again. So the real question is, well, how do you get people to know, like, and trust you? Systematically, because we want to do this at scale with 1,000 people or 500 people. What I have found from a marketing perspective is there are three main elements you need in your system in order to drive this know, like, and trust. The first is you need to create a system that consistently keeps you in touch with that client. It doesn't matter if they're in the prospect phase, in the actual buying phase, or in the after they've bought and you're nurturing them for referral phase. You've got to consistently keep in touch with them. And the feedback I always give to clients, Val, is, if you are, married, right, and you only date your wife one time a quarter, or let's say you do a mailer one time a month to your clients, or an email blast, you only go out on a date one time with your wife. Do you expect to have a great relationship with her? And everybody goes, well, of course not. But we all, as business owners, say, oh, we treat our clients like family. They're like family to us. We take care of them. But when we look at the amount of touch points we're doing to them, especially in the transaction, I remember my own frustration with my loan officer. And I'm not going to say him by name, but I got really frustrated during my buying process 2.5 years ago because they weren't communicating with me. And I knew they were busy, but they weren't keeping me up to date with what was happening and what was going on. So you have to have something that consistently keeps you in touch with people, primarily wanting it to be systematic. That's the first. The second is, and this is the most important that I usually underline for people, you must keep in touch with something that creates impact with people. And impact comes from relevancy. And what I mean by relevancy is that, I always share that, like, what's of interest to you? Like, what's one of your hobbies, Val? Not to put you on the spot here, but what's one of your hobbies?
Problem. All right, I played softball back in the day, so I would say that's still a hobby. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So you played softball, so you like softball. So if I know that about you and put some type of article or some type of topic, text you on softball, it's going to mean way more to you than if I text you about software engineering or programming, because it's relevant to you, right? There's key there. That's the key to marketing is relevancy, because relevancy creates impact, Impact is what makes people memorable and what gets them to think of you in a good light. And so you need to be thinking in your transactional process and in your drip nurturing process, how do I get relevant with all of my clients and everybody that I'm reaching out to? I give people this hack of the Ford method. So if you've never heard of the Ford method, it's a great sales principle, but it stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So if you're my client, Val, what I want to do is I want to go, do I understand the Ford method about Val? Do I know about her family? Do I know about her occupation, what she does for her job? Do I know what she's into, softball and her hobbies? And then do I know her dreams? Why is that important? Because now you can take it from just a transactional, maybe helping them get a loan or helping them buy a property or whatever you're selling to them, and actually communicate them with them more on a personal relationship side,
Right.
which in the end will get them into that like category. And then third, what I tell people is it's great if you consistently connect, and it's great if you create impact, but if you're not branding yourself as what I call the agent of trust, the loan officer of trust, then it's all for naught, because you don't need a bunch of friends, right? You want to create people that are your friends that ultimately buy from you and use you. And so the branding portion is so key that in your marketing, you're setting up areas in your marketing and in your touch points to get people to trust you as the expert in your industry. So a lot of times you can become the expert by answering the impactful questions for people called the FAQs. What are the frequently asked questions in your industry? And putting that out in your touch points, getting it to people before they actually ask you, because that's automatically going to elevate you. Another way is through social proof. If you are a past client of mine and you've had a great experience, I can now tell that story to people. So that's just some of the ways, and those three principles. It's really consistency, impact, and then ultimately it's branding you as the person of trust.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, Luke, because we talk about following up with people after the process, but if you connect with them on social media right after the process is over, they can look to your social media, and that's basically like following up with value. So they're seeing that all the time, and you're front of their eyes, you're on top of their mind. So if someone comes to you and says, hey, do you know a good agent or a good broker? They're going to send them right to your social media, and they can see the proof there that you know what you're talking about. So that's the perfect way. I mean, that's a very baseline. Obviously, you want to be following up with your clients afterwards, but that's something where you can kind of just hit that umbrella of people that you've already worked with.
Yeah, Instagram, I say, is the new business card. So instead of giving someone, like, think about it, like instead of giving someone a business card, which they'll probably just toss, get on find their Instagram handle, find their Facebook, friend them right there on Facebook. Facebook has a really cool hack. I shouldn't call it a hack. It's a feature. Where you can create friends list. And I don't know if anybody knows about this or not, but you can actually go into Facebook and create friend lists. And so this is great for business owners, because get on your Facebook, friend all your clients if you can, and then create friend list, A list, B list, C list, however you want to label them, past clients, whatever. And then you can go visit those friend lists. And I just talked about the Ford method, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Mm-hmm. What do people post on Facebook all the time? Births, weddings, vacations, things they're into that they're doing. All of a sudden, you can go to that friend list that you've created. Now you see what all those people are doing. And guess what you can do? You can start engaging with them start engaging on their feeds and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, and it's funny you say about the friends list, because someone actually mentioned that within our Facebook group, and I think it was kind of an eye-opener to a lot of people. To me, to be honest, I didn't even know this was a thing. So that's a really good point. Yeah, because then you can get specific with who you're talking to and who you're targeting.
Yeah, and you get to see what they're into. You get to learn about what's happening in your clients' lives, and then comment on it. It does. You don't want to be a voyeur, meaning like you don't want to just watch and not engage. You want to engage in their lives. You want to be a part of it.
Yeah. So Luke, your big thing is creating raving fans on social media. So give us the inside scoop. I mean, what are your tips and tricks to this, especially because of the environment right now and what we're dealing with?
Yeah. Well, I think, and this is a tough one, because even for us, it's hard. Like, everybody asks me, well, how do you grow a following? How do you get people to comment? How do you, all these things? It's tough, man. I mean, it's really tough with the world and so much noise that's out there. The key principle I think you have to understand about social and how do you get people into raving fans is social was made to be just that, social. It was made for you to engage. What most of us do as business owners, and I'm guilty of this sometimes myself, is we post about us. Like I was just taking pictures before this was live to do post on it, right? We post about us, and that's great. We're saying, look at me, look at what's going on in my life. But guess what? People don't really care about you. They care about them. So want to create raving fans? First thing you should do is every day find some of your clients, some of your prospects. If you don't have a big following or anything like that, that's okay. Go use the hashtag feature and search the relevant hashtags that are like, search the hashtag of your town. Search the hashtag of things going on in the mortgage industry or something like that. And comment and engage with those people and shout them out. Shout them out on your stories, comment. And when you engage with others, they want to reciprocate it back to you. And it's such a perfect way to do it on social because it's so simple. You can find people. So you got to engage on social. I think that's a key. I think when I think about like content, that's one of the hardest things I think we struggle with on social is how do you create good content? I use a 3E acronym. You should do the 3 E's of content: educate, entertain, and endear. And what I usually share with people is that you want to be posting stuff that either educates your clients. A perfect hack for everybody to do is all those FAQs that are always asked you, those frequently asked questions. That is beautiful content for you. Because you can film a story on Instagram about that. You could go live on Facebook about that. You can educate your audience about what the most frequently asked things or the pitfalls that people fall into when getting a mortgage or whatever it is that you want to educate them on. Then you want to entertain them. How do you entertain them? Well, not all of us are comedians, right? So we're not all going to be funny or, and you can post memes. Memes are great. We get our best engagement from memes. So never be afraid to post memes. But don't be afraid in entertaining to just document your journey. Document your like Gary Vee is huge on this. Document versus create. I don't know if you guys know Gary Vee or not, but
absolutely,
he's like the social media guru out there, right? And he's big on this. You want to document. So what is documenting? Well, I have a client named Connor. And literally what he does, he's a real estate agent, but he just wakes up every day and he goes, hey, another day. And, he's motivational and stuff, but he goes, here's what's on my schedule for today. And he literally tells you about what's going to happen today. Got to drop my kids off at school, got a closing, then I got to go show a buyer. And then throughout the day, he then checks in and goes, hey, I'm at that buyer appointment right now. We're going to walk to the house. And believe it or not, because he does it consistently, it actually draws me into his life. And it actually helps in the likability of Connor and then the trusting of Connor because I constantly see him active. But he's not just promoting himself. He's not just saying, I just sold another home or I just closed another deal. He's just documenting his journey. That would be entertaining. And then endearment, this is really where you can strategically partner with things in your community. So think of like the charities. We're in Philly here, well, outside of Philly, King of Prussia. Phil Abundance is a charity we try to give back to all the time and try to partner with. So partner with a local charity in your community, partner with your church or whatever it is that you're into. Endear yourself to the audience on your Instagram or on your Facebook page by really taking advantage of what's called the halo effect in psychology. When you associate yourself with good things, people naturally put that onto you. So that's the 3 E's of content to try to draw people in that will turn them into raving fans of who you are.
And to your point, Luke, we talked about people who aren't really selling themselves on social media because the best salespeople don't sell. If you're just creating that content that kind of gives them the inside scoop into your life, I think that's what people like because we find a lot that we put out this polished content that we create, and a lot of time it doesn't perform well.
Yep.
So we can put up this raw video of us talking about something and people love it. They're getting value out of it, and that's all that matters. So that's a good point. Good insight.
Yep, it's crazy. It is. It's like people don't want the polished anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Luke, when you go, whether you're selling a product, a service, whatever it may be, your customers or clients have to go through a journey, right? So you start out at this awareness phase, and ultimately you want them to end at an advocate phase. So they're telling everyone else about you, and there are a lot of steps in between there. So how is it best to navigate through that? And kind of, is it a process where you ease into it? Do you just jump into it right after you close with him? What does that look like?
Yeah, like how do you get people to actually refer? That's
the key.
Yeah, the $1 million question. Obviously, you have the principles that I talked about: consistency, impact with them, branding. But what I have found about referring is no one refers over good customer service. And the example I give to people is it's like a light switch or the lights. You walk into your office today, right? And you flip the light switch. No one goes, "Oh my gosh, the lights came on," right? No one does that because they expect it, right? You expect the lights to come on when you flip the light switch. Think about your business right now. When you deliver on helping someone get a mortgage, they expect it. That's what they hired you for. They hired you to get them the best rate, to help them navigate the process. So that doesn't create them in a category to want to go to their mom, their brother, their friend. You have to do the unexpected. You have to do things that actually take you out of the box to where you wowed somebody and you went above and beyond. Or Chick-fil-A is a great example of this. They call it like the second mile, right? The first mile that Chick-fil-A does is they want to create quality food, quality environment, quality service. Then they call their second mile is where they go that extra step. Why do we all think Chick-fil-A is like the master of customer service and unbelievable in fast food? Because think about what Chick-fil-A does. If you show up in the rain, they'll actually come out with an umbrella to get you in. I don't know if you know that or not. If you, like, just in the simple things of saying my pleasure versus thank you, but more than that, they bring your food to the table. Like, I challenge you, go to a Taco Bell. And then I do like Taco Bell, so I'm sorry to crap on them, but go to a Taco Bell, go to a Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A brings the tray to the table. You don't expect that at a fast food restaurant. Right. Chick-fil-A, like a fine dining restaurant, checks in on you mid-meal. Next time you're at a Chick-fil-A, watch how many times they check in on tables in the middle of their meal, just like you would expect at a steakhouse or something. They do so many little things, but the little things are unexpected that wow the customer. So translate this to your process of when you're walking through someone through a transaction. What are the things that you can do to wow that customer? So if you're a real estate agent, one of the things I teach is like when you show up to take those buyers around to the houses, a little thing could be, "Hey, what type of coffee do you like to drink?" And before you show up to that first time, you go to that Starbucks and you bring them their coffee. They're not expecting that. Yeah. That is the extra mile. Or, hey, find out if the Ford method, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, find out they have a little daughter named Susan, and Susan's in ballet. So when you first meet them, before you take them out on the buying journey and real estate and all that stuff, these are just, and you can apply this to any industry. You find out Susan is their daughter, does ballet. When you go show them the home, guess what you also show them? Hey, the closest ballet schools are this far away. They don't expect that. You have to do the unexpected, which causes people to go, "Wow, I'm just blown away." And then at the end, after you've done that, what I always preach, which some coaches disagree with, you then have to ask. You have to ask for the review. You have to ask for the referral. And people will probably even hear this and go, "Well, if you've done a good job, you shouldn't have to ask. They'll just advocate for you." I just have found in my career that if you don't ask, you don't receive. Yeah. And when you ask, you plant such a great seed in the minds and hearts of your clients to understand what you need to thrive in this business. And now, after you've asked, you can water that seed with your nurture follow-up over and over again to get a raving fan for the rest of your life. So passionate answer there for you, but
yeah. But if you've done a good job, asking shouldn't be that big of a deal. If you do a really crappy job and then you ask for a review, they might not be the happiest. But if you do a good job, and like you said, the little things, a lot of the time, going that extra mile isn't even doing anything that's outrageous. I mean, just like you said, getting them a cup of coffee, like handwritten notes to congratulate them on their closing, things like that. The little things go such a long way.
Checking in, like my mortgage person right now has not really given. Now I know everybody's swamped because the rates and everything that's going on, but like he hasn't called me to say, hey, this is perfect time to refinance, or Luke, this is where your situation is. Like, he hasn't even sent, I don't think he's even sent me anything. so it's like, those are I actually even expect that. So now it's even failing at basic customer service. You know what I mean? That type of idea.
Yeah.
So
hopefully he's not in the group watching this right now.
Yeah, I hope not. Sorry if you are. Let's talk.
So to end on that note, Luke, put yourself in the shoes of a mortgage broker right now, because their pipelines are so full. They feel like they don't even have time to sleep. And I think the last thing that they're thinking about is following up with those past clients, because they're thinking about what they have right now. So if you were in their shoes, what would you be doing to, first of all, nurture the clients that they do have right now and the people that they are working with, and then kind of touching on the clients that they've recently closed with and making sure to keep in touch with them as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. And this is why, you need systems in your business to scale.
Yeah.
Because when you run into situations like this, it's just so hard if you don't have consistent systems. What I always tell like my clients, and then if I'm helping someone with their marketing and their nurture system, is look, you want to put in place a system that you can be consistent in, right? So it could be as simple as using, like, we have our magazine. It goes out every 2 months to your clients. You don't have to worry about it. It's a touch point going out that's super high quality. Or we have our digital edition of the magazine, goes out once a month. And now you have a system in place that is touching base with the clients. It's not really selling them, but it's keeping you top of mind, aware. Then what I would teach you to do is what I call, you have passive marketing, which is the mailer you send out, the email you send out, and then you have proactive marketing, which proactive marketing is taking advantage of the passive moments that you've made to now capitalize and have an interaction. That interaction needs to be what I call is like a face-to-face, a video through email, a video through text, a phone call to them. And if I ask my mortgage brokers to sit down and call their whole client database, or my real estate agents, it's going to be overwhelming. They can't do it.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is you have to implement a daily routine where you divide your client base by the number of days in a month, and you go, this is how many calls, outreaches I need to make just to check in on my clients, or video emails that I need to send my clients in a day. And what you do is you basically put that on your calendar. If it doesn't go on your calendar, you don't commit to it, it's not going to get done. And what you'll find that 10 calls a day is manageable. 10 calls is manageable if you structure it in. And over the course of a month, what you've realized is you've actually gotten your whole database touched. And then if you run into problems where you're getting too much business, then I would go into a whole nother of, well, we got to hire you an assistant or hire another team member and scale up your business. But that's a good problem to have at that point.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And for the brokers watching this, there's no excuses, because we have the tools and partners to help you reach out with those past clients. So there are no excuses.
I love that.
Well, Luke, thank you so much. Do you have any other insight or any other last minute tips for brokers right now? I know everyone is super overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Every day you don't make your calls, every day you don't commit to following up with your clients, is you're pushing back your future success, and you're limiting yourself. So you have to do that. And then ultimately, where we're at right now with COVID and the whole world changing and everything like that, I would really encourage you to use what I call as the care, educate, close funnel. This is a perfect opportunity to make the impact with your clients in this moment, that you were the mortgage professional, you were the loan officer that reached out to them during COVID. You were the person, but you didn't reach out just to sell them the refinance or anything like that. You reached out just to check in on them. You have a chance, because I'm telling you, the people, when we come out of this, that will be remembered. That impact will be remembered. And you reach out to them, show them you cared. Then reach out to them and educate them on their opportunity. And then third, reach out to them and actually ask for the order. Ask for, can I help you with the refinancing? Do you know anybody that might need help? Or, hey, do you need help with your mortgage? Whatever it is that you want to offer, you ask for the close. But I think there's a golden opportunity to show people you care, educate them, and then get referrals or get repeat business. So don't miss the opportunity. Don't push back your calls. Commit to making those calls every day.
Yeah, that's good insight, Luke. Good advice. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Well, we're so glad to have you here. Again, we appreciate your time so much. For anyone watching this, remember tomorrow we have the weekly sales meeting at 2 p.m. in the Brokers Are Better group, so make sure not to miss it. Luke, thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Val. Appreciate it. Thank you for everyone watching.
Have a great day, guys.